Good morning. Welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook on the New Mexico Sports Network, along with producer Alden Iwani and Ahmed Nunez. Our special guest today, St. Mike's football coach, Joey Fernandez. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Ed, I appreciate you guys having me. A lot of fun. Seen the show a few times, and thank you for having me.
I think what we try to do, Coach, I think what we try to do on the Sports Desk is try to get some other people from around the state. It's only fair. It's not fair to just get teams from Albuquerque, man. It's not. We're about the state, and I think it's fitting that we get you. We've gotten some other people from around Las Vegas. Robertson, head coach, we had him on, and your team a big win Saturday night or Friday night in West Las Vegas, 13-12 in Las Vegas. Sometimes I think, Coach, going on the road and winning on the road feels, you want to win at home. You always want to protect the home.
Actually, the game was at home.
It was okay.
At home on Saturday.
I thought it said Las Vegas. Okay, so you wanted home.
Yes.
It said right here. No location. You play Robertson in Las Vegas this week.
This Friday.
Tell us about the game against West Las Vegas. It was at St. Mike's, but I'll tell you, you mentioned to me a good old-fashioned 13-12 low-scoring game, defensive game. Tell us a little bit about that. You mentioned West Las Vegas being a little bit more physical than maybe your players expected.
Yeah, we went into the game knowing that they had a pretty young team. So we knew it was going to be a little bit different than what we expected. But they're a lot more physical. They were bigger and a lot faster than what we were expecting. And I think our kids got a wake-up call stepping in that game because West Las Vegas, they have a lot better team than people think.
Talk a little bit about that because they came in 6-1. I believe you're both 6-1 coming in, right? Yes, but both of you were 6-2
yes.
coming in. They were 6-1, and you mentioned in Las Vegas Robertson, you got a big game against Robertson coming up, and then you finish against Raton. And I'll tell you, it seems, Coach, I don't know what you think, but you only got two blips on your schedule. That was a loss to Santa Fe, 19-7, then a loss to Socorro, 35-7.
We beat Socorro.
That's your loss.
Yeah, we beat them. We beat them 35-7.
Okay, it said here's a loss. So you only have one loss?
We only have one loss.
Okay, so only lost to Santa Fe. So I don't know why that says that on Max Preps. So you did beat Socorro. You only have one loss. Two big games coming up against Robertson and Raton. And I'll tell you, does it seem to you like the season is just, again, from a short schedule last year, does it seem to you like the season is just flown by?
Well, with us, coming in this season, we really didn't know, what the teams on our schedule were going to be like, especially district teams, because three out of the four other district teams didn't have a schedule last year. They didn't play in the spring, so we really didn't know what to expect from those teams. West, Robertson, and even Santa Fe Indian School, they all, without having a game last spring, they stepped up their game, and they've been surprising people. I think we have the toughest district in the state, but with the West win under our belt, and now going into Robertson, and then the undefeated Raton Tigers last game of the season, it's a gauntlet for us, and I believe it's really going to get us ready for the playoffs.
That's what you're looking for. And again, that game against West Las Vegas, let's go over your schedule. A win against Taos, a win against Capital, loss against Santa Fe, and you won Los Alamos, Socorro, Cathedral, Santa Fe Indian, and now West Las Vegas. So I think your team is on a pretty good streak here. 5 wins in a row. 5 wins in a row going into this Friday's game against Las Vegas Robertson, which Coach, I don't know who made the schedule, man, but you got to go to West Las Vegas, or you played West Las Vegas at home. Now you got to go to Robertson, and I'll tell you that those are back-to-back tough games. You just mentioned what a tough district it is, and talk about what you'll have to do. Robertson loves to run that ball from the gun. They love to throw it around. They're tough on their home field. Talk about a little bit about what the Horsemen will have to do to get a win down there in Las Vegas.
It's been a pretty good rivalry for us, the last 15 to 20 years. And, with Coach Gonzalez up there, he's been coaching there for at least 15 of those. We've had a pretty good rivalry with those Cardinals, and every game it's always tough. And we know going in there, They have great athletes, but great coaching staff, and they're going to do. They're going to put their team in a situation, to win the game. So we got to counterattack it and hopefully come up with some things to help us out. But I know it's going to be a war out there. It's going to be a battle, and I believe it's just going to be fun. It's going to get us ready for the following week too.
Well, you mentioned sometimes games come down to a bounce, a lucky bounce here and there. It's a game of inches. You saw that last night. Josh Allen trying to go for it on 4th and 1, right? He's a 6'5" quarterback.
Crazy.
He slips. They penetrate the line. He doesn't get it. It's a game of inches. Sometimes it's luck, and sometimes it's a bounce, right? You won some championships here. Talk about that a little bit, about what it comes down to sometimes at the end of the year when you're trying to make a playoff run, and even to get to that championship. We'll talk about how many championships you won here in just a sec. We'll talk about how that all has to come together. People think it's easy. It's not. You've got injuries. You've got things you can't control. Talk a little bit about the road to any championship.
It's always tough to win a championship because you do need a little bit of luck along the way. I believe in the championship runs we've had that luck. Just like in other seasons when we felt that we had a great chance at winning it, our luck ran out, and maybe an injury here, an injury there that hurt us, or just a bad play, or the kids didn't show up for the game where they showed up for every other game, and this game they just couldn't get the motivation. It's always tough to get the kids motivated, and we've had opportunities in the past where maybe we beat a team by a few touchdowns or something like that, and they come back, we play them in the playoffs, and it's always hard to get these kids. They're 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and it's always hard to get these kids motivated when they know they've already beat a team. So that's my job is to find out ways to motivate these kids before games, and every kid's different and every team's different, but it's part of coaching, the part of coaching that I do like, but that's always one of the hardest parts is finding the right motivation, especially in the playoffs.
And yet when it works, when you have everything executing, it's 11 guys, and you got to have everybody executing their job, right? And when you see it, you're like, why can't we bottle that? Why doesn't it work every single night? Because of the things that you mentioned, right? Everybody's motivational point is different, right? There's going to be some games that are going to be naturally fired up for Capital. There's no problem getting up for Capital, right? I wouldn't think. There's no problem getting up for Santa Fe. Back in the day, those are some rivals up there in Santa Fe, right? I mean, there's no problem there, right? Because they're across town. People are going to see you in the grocery store and say, what happened, man? That, the Demons got you, the Jaguars got you. So, and it's one of those things. But when it's working and you see your team clicking, you're like, oh, man, all that work was worth it. But like you said, any road to any championship is pockmarked with some things that sometimes we can't control.
Yeah, it's every year we have instance of that all over the place during the season. This year actually one of the big things we had was in the Santa Fe High game we actually lost our quarterback for the season, and he's been our quarterback since his freshman year. This is his senior year. He's got the next level arm, big size. He was 6'2". 230 pounds, and he can throw the football 75 yards, and he's just got a rocket arm, and it was tough to lose him, especially having the leader. So we've gone through that adversity where we didn't know what was going to happen next. We didn't have another quarterback ready. We didn't have an offense to fit somebody else ready. So it's been a process for us, but the kids have all they've believed in what we're doing, and they've been working hard. But those first couple of weeks after that happened, was big, and the mindset of the kids wasn't there, and we had to find a way to make them believe again that that blue trophy's out there to be won, and we still do have a chance of winning it.
Lucas Carice was a quarterback that was hurt.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, he's a heck of a hooper too, a heck of a basketball player.
Yes.
And I think when you mention now, that's going to be an interesting question there I have for you, because the quarterback, he's a senior, he's the leader. You just mentioned his size; he can rocket at 75 yards. So yeah, again, you're still probably overcoming that, but there was a blip in the road, but you're still winning, right? You're still winning. And just so people know, your record is 166 and 65 over 20 years. That's a lot of success, right? But when you lose a quarterback, and quarterback is, how important is that leadership position there? Very important, right? What was your message to your team? Because you could see people's shoulders droop, right? You see it. He's the leader. What are we going to do now? What was your message to your team?
I think the biggest thing we said is everybody had, from the freshmen all the way up, had to take a step up and take more control of the team and what they were doing, have accountability towards the team, because we had to reinvent ourselves. We had to start doing things that we weren't accustomed to doing with Lucas at quarterback. And, it's shown and it's getting better, but, it's still a work in progress. And, I'm hoping we do get it by the time the playoffs start, because we could be a pretty good looking team by that time. But, we're grinding things out right now, but, everybody has taken that step up, and, I'm proud of them for that, but we still have a lot of work to do, and hopefully we'll get that done.
You went to Zachary Montoya as your quarterback now.
Zach Martinez, yes.
Zach Martinez, I'm sorry, Zach Martinez. So he's 35 of 48, 563 yards, and 9 touchdowns. How has he stepped in? And that's a huge role. And quarterback is a role that everybody looks to on any team. They're pretty much the leader of the team on most teams, right? Is Zachary a senior or junior?
He's a junior.
Okay, so he's studied under Lucas Correes. He's been a backup to him. How has he stepped into that role? It's a huge role to step into, and a lot of people, a lot of eyes on him. How's he done?
Hey, he's actually stepped up and he's done really well. He hasn't lost a game yet, so that's always a good thing. But his accuracy, we're not throwing the ball deep like when we did have Lucas. Lucas actually, had a pretty good arm when we wanted to go deep, and he had big play ball in him. Zach can throw the big play, but we like to throw underneath with him, short passes, high percentage passes. So his percentage is going to be higher as far as completion percentage compared to what Lucas's was. But he's stepping in there. He's finding control of. We needed somebody to control the offense, and he's done a good job of that. He stepped in there, and he's become a leader to all those guys out there. And, the kids are looking up to him, and they believe in what he's doing. And, we have a lot of confidence in what he's doing. And I think he's the type of quarterback that can get us to that state championship game.
How many games was it the first game or third game that Lucas got injured? And how many games has Zach been? Third?
Yes.
So Zach's been the quarterback for about 4 or 5 games now already?
4 games.
So I think that helps too, though, that he understudied under a senior, a very good leader, and it helps to win, right? It helps when we win, because the mistakes are lessened. Now he's made some, I'm sure, because the reads are different, right? He may not. Sometimes when guys are behind somebody, especially a senior, you're thinking, hey, I'm never going to play. I'm not going to play because he's the senior, he's the leader. And then all of a sudden an injury pops up and it's like, oh, get your helmet on. Get your helmet on, man. You got to be ready to go. It's a whole different mindset when you're sitting there on the bench, right? And all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm in charge now. So you say he's performed pretty well then.
He's stepped in there, and he's been backup for a couple of years, and with him, he's always known, hey, I probably won't get to see very much action at quarterback until I'm a senior, but when all this happened, I think he was more surprised than anything. But it took a couple of weeks. His first game that he started actually wasn't the Los Alamos game; it was the Socorro game. So he was thrown in there right away with one of the best teams in AAA, and he came out with flying colors. He made a lot of good reads. I think he only had 4 incompletions. I think he was 17 to 21 in that game. So he came out and he had a great game. And so his confidence, that was a big confidence builder for him, but more a confidence builder for the team, knowing that, we can still score some points with him under center.
Yeah, it's got to make him feel better. And then the teammates around him, maybe some of the seniors told him, hey, we're good. you got to get leadership for some other people too, because when your senior quarterback goes down, other people have to step in and say, look, we're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So I'm sure that has helped too. You won state championships in 2003, 2007, and 2012, state runner-up in 2004 and 2011. You've won 7 district championships as a coach there. What do you attribute a lot? It's great success there, Coach. You ought to be proud of it. I'm sure you are. What do you attribute a lot of that success in the St. Mike's football program to?
To me, it's I like to surround myself with good people. If you surround yourself with great coaches, coaches that know what you want, but they know how to motivate the kids and get the kids to work, and there's just great people around the community and stuff like that. Those are the type of people I want, because I can't have the relationships with all 50, 60 kids, however many I have. I have to rely on the coaches to have those personal day-to-day relationships with the kids, where some of these kids have problems. So I got to be able to trust the coaches I put out there, and I think that's been one of the biggest things is having great people that surround me. But the kids are great here at St. Mike's. We've built a tradition that kids look up to, and they want to come to St. Mike's just because they want to play some of the sports over here, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, track and field, whatever it is. They want to come over here and compete and perform. I think we have 75% of our student body that actually play sports. So it's a big thing over here to come and play sports. And we want the 2-3 sport athletes. We don't like the athletes to play one sport. We want them to enjoy their high school careers and play 2 to 3 sports. And that's something that we push. And that's one thing that me and Coach Rodriguez, our basketball coach over here, we push our kids to do as many sports as we can and as they can. And it helps out both of our programs.
I think it's a more different than when you and I played back in the days of this one sport, right? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about St. Mike's football with St. Mike's football coach Joey Fernandez on the sports desk.
Kick by Rayner being taken by one of the Sandy Up men at the 50. We're already in the Bulldog territory. I think that's Levi Lovato still on his feet. Lovato still on his feet down the right sideline. He might take it to the house. He's got a block, tries to cut it back, still on his feet. Taking Bulldog tacklers inside the 5-yard line down to the 4.
You got time.
Levi Lovato would return. Kick towards the box. Headed in, and it's a goal for St. Pius.
I look for him to have a great game.
Chavez rolling to his left. He sends him down the line. Can he get it to him? Yes! The people's champion, Nathan Lopez, makes the catch.
And
Martinez, yes. That is the 5th kill of the night for the freshman, Jasmine Martinez.
Steele just gets it over Sandoval. College throws it down.
Official order. Weisung rolling to his right. He's so quick. He throws on the move, and it is caught. Touchdown. What a bomb from Weisung to Nick Trujillo.
You paid for the whole sofa, but you're only going to need the edge. Because it's the kid down the street, there's no contract disputes. It's just football. Gerardo goes immediately for the end zone, and he finds it. Caden Valdez, that's a 30-yard touchdown, and just like that, Volcano Vista is on the board.
Three goals here in the second half. led to her Chargers being ahead. And there's a goal! Flipped up, and Volcano Vista responds immediately. I think that's Maya Marquez.
Healthy, they have to stay healthy.
Wysong gonna keep it. Another big run for Wysong. See you later. They're not gonna run him down. Third rushing touchdown of the night for Evan Wysong.
There is the whistle. Chargers steal this one away to start. Fed inside. Kara Anderson will try and hop on top of it, and that's it! That's the game! The Hawks put away a goal to end this one in the first 16 seconds. Trying to get...
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook on the New Mexico Sports Network. Our special guest today is St. Mike's football coach, Joey Fernandez. I'll tell you, Coach, a great conversation in the first segment. You know, you're also the head football and also the track coach there, a graduate of St. Mike's, a true norteño, like I told you, man. You know, I know a lot of those true norteños up there. And we just mentioned a few during the break, man. You know, and I'll tell you, you can tell you're very proud of what you represent. But, you know, I had to bring this up. You coached your daughter, Jocelyn, in football. Jocelyn was a five-sport star. And there's not many football players that play that are female. I can only think of a handful throughout the state's history. Tell us a little bit about your daughter, though, because she was a wide receiver and a darn good one, right? But you mentioned a game against Moriarty where she got hit pretty good. I mean, as her father, you know, I can only imagine what your wife thought because it's, you know, you get scared, right? I can only imagine but you said one time she broke her hand. Tell us that story a little bit. You pick it up.
Yeah, you know, it was tough coaching my daughter. You know, she grew up playing football, but when she got into ninth grade, I didn't allow her to play until her senior year. But we were playing Portales, which I think they ended up being state champs that year. And we were playing them. First or second play of the game, she ended up breaking her hand, but she didn't tell anybody. So she played the whole game with a broken hand, and she ended up leading our team in catches that game. And afterwards, she showed me her hand, and it was big. It was swollen, black and blue. I says, when did that happen? She goes, oh, first or second play. I said, why didn't you tell me? She said, you would have taken me out, Dad. So, you know, she's one of those type of players that, you know, she'll get hurt, but she'll keep fighting through it.
A heck of a player, you know, in a sports star, like we said. You know, I wanted to go into your offense a little bit. Damian Lujan, 75 carries, 484 yards. Lucas Cariz, before he got hurt, 202 yards. Marcus Leyva, 182 yards. Isaac Ruiz, 15 carries, 136 yards. Zachary Martinez, we mentioned your quarterback. Talk a little bit about that because you're spreading carries around on your offense. There's a lot of guys getting carries there, Coach. Talk a little bit about how your offensive philosophy may have changed when Zachary Martinez took over?
Well, to me, you know, if you want to win ball games, you got to be able to spread the ball around. If you don't, then teams are going to be able to key off one or two players, whatever you're doing. And this year, you know, I have some of the great athletes that I've had in a long time where I can get them the ball. Yeah, they might not be getting the ball as much as they want to, but when they do, they're making them good quality carries or good quality catches. And, you know, those are the big things that we teach. Hey, make the best out of what you're getting. You know, it's been tough for some of them because they do want the ball, and you want kids that want to be like that. But, you know, as a coach, I got to be able to spread the ball around and make sure teams aren't seeing what we're doing. But, you know, it's great to have that amount of talent around the quarterback.
You've got some great offensive balance there. You're receiving Devin Flores, 33 catches for 510 yards, 15.4 yards per catch. This is pretty darn good. Diego Armendariz, 8 for 192, 24 yards a catch. Defensively, Damian Lujan, 52 tackles. Isaac Salazar, 27 tackles. Creed Chavez, 3 interceptions. Isaac Ruiz, 2 interceptions. Talk a little bit about your defense. We never want to leave them out.
Well, our defense actually has been the bread and butter of our team this year. Yeah, we're able to score points, but our defense has been, I think we've given up 70 points all season long, which is probably under 8 points a game or somewhere around 8 points a game. So, you know, they're stepping up. They've made a lot of big stops in the red zone, especially inside the 5-yard line in key games this year. But with Damon Lujan, he's our leader out there on the defensive side. You know, he's one of those guys that tough to block. You know, he gets going. He might be small, but he's going to get to the tackle one way or the other. He actually had 22 tackles against West Las Vegas this past weekend.
Wow. How many?
22.
Oh.
He had 14 unassisted and 14 assisted and 8 unassisted tackles. He had 8 tackles for losses. So he did a great job this week. And if it wasn't for him, I think West Las Vegas would have put a lot more points on the board.
That's amazing because, again, you only won by one. I call those an old NFC Central shootout, the black and blue division, which a lot of people don't remember that. You remember that, those low-scoring games that they used to have in the NFC Central back in the day. Coach, one more. We're going to hit you with one more question. We'll let you go. What's it going to take? Again, any road to a championship is pockmarked with things we can't control. What's it going to take for the Horsemen to take away the blue trophy in 2021?
We got to come together as a team, but the big thing is we got to stay away from injuries, and you know, we got to get that belief in the kids' heads that they can get it done, and you know, play 48 minutes football. I think that's key right there because right now we have kids taking plays off, which, you know, I stress not to do because you know, we're always going to find a way to lose when that happens. So 48 minutes of football, playing 110%, playing every play like it's their last play, and you know, because it's coming down to that. So that's a big thing I'm stressing to these kids right now.
Playoff time is different, Coach. Intensity is ratcheted up. How many levels?
Yes, it is. It's getting up there.
Yeah, no question about it. St. Mike's football coach Joey Fernandez, thanks so much for joining us. We wish you all the luck this weekend against Las Vegas Robertson.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.